Um, so what I plan to do today is talk a little bit about BBO and other resources for learning. There's a slide deck that, or PowerPoint, whatever you want to call it, that goes with this. But I'm only going to do a couple pages of it because it's really for your reference for the future. And at some point, I'll drop the presentation into the chat. I don't think I can do that when I'm sharing screen. So I'll do that in a moment. So here's a classroom. I guess it's a COVID classroom, and a library full of bridge books and the internet. And those are our resources. So let me go ahead and we've looked at this cartoon, I think, in the past. You know, how can I improve my bridge game? And the wise man says, spend more time at the table. And that's really the key thing. And when you spend more time at the table, you just see things and you try things and you make mistakes and you find out it's no big deal to make mistakes. Like whoever it was said, yeah, I watched somebody go down 3, you know, and you laugh. You know, and bridge is a game that if you laugh when you play bridge, it's way more fun. How do you spend more time at the table? You can play. There's an open house for Planet Hool people on Mondays at 4. Deborah has it's just this usual Zoom link. You can play online at BBO with friends and family or whatever. You can play online at BBO with robots, and eventually you may even want to play tournaments on BBO. Last time I talked about how you learn the mechanics of the game a little bit. You learn a little bit about play of the cards. You learn a little bit about bidding, and then you play. And most people just go and play casually, but some people decide to start playing competitively, playing tournaments. And if you're, you know, my wife and I are like super competitive people, and so we got hooked immediately. I think I told you the story of her first time playing bridge. And there's a lot of ways to practice. On BBO, you can play what they call solitaire versus robots. You can play just declare versus robots. I'll go click into all these things and show them briefly. There's something called Bridge Master at BBO, which is good for declare play, but it gets hard early. And then there's Best eBridge. I don't have the link, but Deborah does. Best eBridge is not free, but I think it's heavily discounted for people from Planet Hool. We use Best eBridge all the time here to demo things. So I tried to make a list of resources, you know, for those who want to kind of continue learning and play the game. There's a lot of good books. There's websites. There's online daily bridge hands at different places. There's online newsletters. You can take paid classes. Nowadays, they're available online. You can take them in person. The way my wife and I got started playing again, we had played in the early 80s and then took 30 years or so off for life and kids and whatnot. And then a friend of hers wanted to learn to play bridge and paid to attend bridge classes. And she asked my wife to go with her so she wouldn't be alone. And the other person dropped out after 2 weeks, but my wife stuck around and said, I kind of remember this. It was fun. And then she dragged me back to the table kicking and screaming. And after we played for maybe a year, we decided that we needed some help to, you know, get a little better. And we took a series of classes. It was 8 or 10 classes from this guy who was just incredible. And we ended up taking like 7 of those series of classes. And for us, it was a hoot. You can join the ACBL. There's articles in the Bridge Bulletin every month. And then there's lots of tools on BBO for reviewing hands you played and also for just learning in general. So I'm going to try and touch on most of this stuff today, but there won't really be much, you know, bridge in that sense. I did want to provide a list of books, and you don't have to copy these down because I'll drop this into the chat. Coach Martha is saying Best eBridge Planet Hool student, 15 days full access to try it out. So there's a link in the chat. Anyway, there's a million bridge books, believe it or not. And these are some of the favorites of Deborah and me. I love planning the play of a bridge hand. It's about declarer play, and I know people get really nervous about declarer play because it feels like there's all this pressure on you. And I think this is a superb book. It never goes off into the stratosphere of super complicated stuff. And I really encourage people who want to, work on declarer play to read this book. It'll just make you more comfortable. I think several of you have gotten it, and comments have been positive. I've never read A Taste of Bridge, but Deborah likes it. Eddie Cantor is an absolutely fabulous author, and Barbara Seagram is a great author. And there's a bunch of books, but I'll put this into the chat so you don't have to copy it down. And then there's some other excellent authors. I think most of you know of Audrey Grant. And then there's 3 people I really like who have more of an intermediate focus than our group's focus. And there's a ton of stuff on this page. We're going to ignore the bottom part of it, but it's there for the future for you. But today, what I want to do is do a bit of a demo of Best eBridge. And as I learned, everything in the world is on YouTube. And here's how I learned it. My wife and I took our son and his then girlfriend, now wife, to Iceland to celebrate the completion of their PhDs. And we rented a car, and I go to drive it out of the car rental place, and I couldn't figure out how to put it into reverse. But luckily I could drive in a circle around the building and go out that way. And then I drove 50 kilometers to Reykjavik and realized at some point I was probably going to have to put it in reverse. And we're looking for parking spaces so we can get some breakfast, and no, can't do that one. That's parallel park, And eventually I found a place where I could nose in, and it's like, okay, well, now we're dead. We're going to spend our 8 days in the parking lot. And and so after being silent for all this time, my son says, "Dad, everything is on YouTube." So we go into the breakfast place and we Google Dacia Duster SUV, put it in reverse. And in 5 seconds, we had a video that showed me how to get the dang thing into reverse. So anyway, there's a lot of YouTube stuff for bridge, and I'll point you to some of that. And then a lot of the sites have materials that are in very boring text format, but they're very good materials. So I'll spend some time on these different things today. And I'm just recycling this old slide, BBO. Most of you are familiar with BBO. And we've talked about a lot of these things, the solitaire and so on. And it is free to sign up for those who are, the Rusties may or may not be signed up yet. Work with Martha to make that happen. So what I'm going to do is stop sharing. And while I've stopped sharing, I'm going to find the presentation. Wrong folder.
Yeah, see the person coughing.
And I'm going to drop the presentation in PDF form into the chat. So, whoops, the chat is pointed at one person. I need it pointed at everybody. And I think this will actually put the presentation into the chat. It'll take a while to upload. And then if you click on that, it'll probably pull it down to your computer. So now what I want to do is kind of switch gears and share my screen of my internet browser. So can you all see the Best eBridge login?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and log in just to give you a reminder of what's here. Oops, I'm going to turn off my JavaScript blocker. Nope, I think I just turned it back on. I'm going to get a new computer. Don't have time for that today. There we go. So as you know, there's zillions and zillions of things here. So there's whole sections on bidding. So, you know, there's lots and lots and lots of things, some of which are more advanced and some of which are kind of more the area in which we work. So I could click on no trump bids and up will come a hand, and we are east. I count. When I count points, I tend to look at combinations of cards to make it easier. So like I see the ace, queen, jack, king, and I say that's 10, 16.
That's a good idea.
And then I always double check because I've been known to make mistakes. But I count 16 high card points. I have a balanced hand with 15 to 17 balanced. I'm going to open one no trump. So let me go ahead and pick one no trump, and they think I made a good bid. And then they explain why they think it was a good bid. There's lots of things on defense, and it can either be quote by level or by a specific technique. So you know, you could look at a thing on opening leads. And so we're south, we're on opening lead. The bad guys have bid one no trump, three no trump, a pretty typical bidding sequence. And what card would we like to lead from the south hand?
Six of spades.
Six of spades is a possibility.
King of spades.
King of spades. This usually against no trump, we lead the fourth from our longest and strongest, unless partners bid a suit. If partners bid a suit, what do?
Bid or lead partner suit.
We lead partner suit. And there are three cases when we don't lead partner suit. One, you don't have any. Two, you don't want to play with that partner again. And three, somewhere between the end of the auction and your opening lead, you died. So we like to lead partner suit, but against no trump, if partner hasn't bid, then typically we lead the fourth from our longest and strongest, which in this case would be the six of spades. When you are blessed with a wonderful holding of 3 honors in a row against no trump, it's safe enough to lead the top of those. So personally, I would lead the king of spades against this contract, and I guess she seems to think that was okay because she didn't say no. And now what do I do? Well, I'll continue. You know, if a little's good, more is better. And I've seen now 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How many more spades are out there?
One more.
And which one is it?
The ace.
The ace. So I'm going to lead my lowly too. And the ace is going to show up. And now I have established my last 2 spades. So if I'm lucky enough to get in with my king of clubs, and it looks like maybe I can, if I'm lucky enough to get in with my king of clubs, I'll be able to take 2 spade tricks and set the hand. So anyway, I think Bestie Bridge is really a fabulous thing. I think it's really good. It's got a section on, you know, card play. And again, you can practice by level or by different techniques. And I think it's worthwhile getting the trial thing and, you know, just kind of see what you think of it. So
you said there's a cost for this bill?
This one has a cost. I don't know what the discounted rate is. Martha, do you know? I don't think it's free.
No, no.
I don't know. You can either pay monthly or you can pay annually.
You can do
$24.
either way. I think the retail price is like $14.90 a month or something like that, but I think we get a discount.
I thought we only got the 2-week free trial period. And
That's possible.
and I kind of emailed her and she said there was a special link from,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, Martha put something in the chat.
I just took that down.
Yeah, okay.
$164, and if you join before the end of the year, they give you some months free, and it's much cheaper.
Okay.
If you miss that deadline on the 31st, you'll have to pay full price.
Oh, on the 31st.
They run a special around Christmas time. They ran it.
Yeah, Beverly, I would submit that it's always before the end of the year. It's just a question of which year.
The whole year left.
Beverly reminded us, and if you didn't catch it, you're screwed.
Anyway, it's worth considering. So I want to show a couple other things. I said that there are a couple of places that have what I would call boring text-based materials. Can you see my screen? It's probably pretty small.
Yeah.
This is a woman named Karen Walker, who's a well-known bridge teacher. And she has a whole section at her website that's for beginners. And so you could click, for example, on opening one bids and, see if I can make it a little bigger. She'll kind of go through the basics of, how you decide whether or not to open. So there, she has a lot of materials. I haven't read through them.
Excuse me, Phil.
Yeah.
Phil, I think I screwed up. I went to chat and I hit on the B&B
Link.
link, and now I think I have the link. I don't have
Okay.
you, I don't think.
Okay. Well, you have me in some sense because you can hear me and I can hear you.
Yes, but I can't see your screen
Yeah.
at all.
So what happened essentially was when you clicked on that link, it said, "Oh, turn on the browser and bring that to the front." So in the upper corner, well, I don't know if you're on a PC. I don't speak Mac. If you're on a PC, you're on a Mac. So Martha, how do you minimize the?
Yeah, what I would just do is go to the upper left-hand corner where you see the Apple icon and just go to recent items and pick and drag across down to Zoom.
I'll do it, and I'll try to tell her how to do it.
Or you can go to your
I'm on an iMac.
yeah, you can go to your
Items, got it?
at the back of the bottom and click on Zoom. It'll bring it back up.
Right, this is not the most helpful one.
You good?
Wait a minute.
But you don't.
You keep talking and I'll,
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably in your toolbar at the bottom.
Or if your tool's on the left.
I just did it. Tell her to, on the chat bar, there's a red circle. You see the red and the green?
I think I may be out of Zoom. Oh, I can't be out of Zoom.
Hit the red button.
No.
on the
Reading,
chat.
Yeah, just close your browser and you'll be good. It'll just close that whole window.
Your bestie bridge.
Does she know what that is?
yeah, I can't see a way to close it. All right, I'm going back to Gmail. I'm going to sign in again on Zoom.
That sounds like a plan. Okey doke.
All right.
So on the screen now, you'll see Audrey Grant's website. I don't think Audrey has a bunch of free stuff. Everybody's familiar with Audrey Grant or recognizes the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think she has a ton of free stuff. They all have some, but she has a daily interactive bridge column. So let me click on that and see what happens. And I'm not registered. So enjoy 7 sample columns. Oh, here, let's look at the bidding quiz and see if it comes up. Oh, got to kill my JavaScript blocker. Sorry. So press the quiz button. Okay, neither side is vulnerable. You're sitting south. What call do you make? I count, there's my ace, queen, king, jack. That's 10, 14. I'm in a bit of club. And somewhere here is a place where I can bid a club, I guess.
Yeah, there
Hey, she liked my bid. So north and anyway, so there'll be some free things here. And if you want to sign up, she does do lessons, and she actually does a Saturday morning. I think it's casual duplicate game. So if you get to the point where you want to try that, you know, that might be fun. So again, a lot of resources online. This is a guy named Richard Pavlicek, who is an extremely experienced, high quality player. But again, he's got just an incredible ton of materials, but they're in a boring text format. It's also a little old. I warn you not to open with 12 points. Well, nowadays we do. So, and there are people on YouTube. The two in particular that have been recommended to me are a woman named Joan Butts. I think she's from Australia, or no, Peter Hollins. He's the Australian, I guess. And so what I like about these, I haven't actually watched them, but the thing that I think I like about them is they're relatively short. You know, here's something about how to promote honors. It's 3 minutes and 11 seconds. Here's how to count winners and losers. Here's how to gain tricks through link. So if you like watching, you know, videos of this sort of thing, there's a lot of resources. And this guy, Peter Hollins, has one of those, you know, fantastic Australian accents. He has a good video on how to use BBO. I should watch this 5 Ways to Improve Your Memory at Bridge. Except I keep forgetting to watch it. Just kidding. Baker Bridge is another one that has tons and tons of material, but it's kind of old-fashioned, you know, kind of old-fashioned text format.
Guidebook, it's still good.
So, you know, introduction to bidding, and there'll be some materials on it. How high do you want to bid? Why? And so on and so forth. And I think they have a bunch of practice hands somewhere here. Whoop, I clicked in the wrong place. The practice hands are down below 100, no trump openings with bidding and play. So let's go to deal 1.
Too small.
That's kind of tiny. Let me make it a little bigger. You were south, and again, I look at ace, ace, queen, that's 10. 10 and 7 is 17, and then I double check it. 12 and 5 is 17. I open a no trump, partner bid 2 no. What did partner say when partner said 2 no?
They don't have 9 points or 8 points.
They didn't have enough to go to game, which would be about 10. But they had too many to just pass. They're inviting. They're saying, partner, if you're at the low end, let's stop. But if you're at the high end of your range, please bid game. Okay, so bidding is a conversation. We said balanced 15 to 17. North said, if you're at the top end, please bid 3. So we'll go ahead and bid 3 no trump. Now, there's actually not a mechanism here to do that. You just click on the word bid and it says what you should have done. And let's click next. Okay, now you get the lead of the 6 of spades. So what's your plan here? You count your immediate winners. 1 in spades, 2 in hearts, 3 in diamonds, and 6. Where can we get some more tricks?
Clubs.
Clubs. In fact, how many more tricks do we think we might get in clubs?
2.
3.
3. I see the king, queen, jack 10. So we'll knock out the ace. It always be willing to lose tricks early to take more later. Right? So
Right.
we'll get our 3 more tricks there. Is there anything that's a danger here? Anything that could go wrong?
They could run spades.
They could run spades. They've led spades. And if we take the ace of spades and start the clubs, they're going to get in with the ace of clubs and maybe they'll continue spades.
Right.
So one of the things you'll learn is, suppose that lead had been the 3 of spades. This is a really interesting point. Suppose that lead had been the 3 of spades. If they're leading their 4th best, we have the 2, right? So that means they have something, 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 and the 3. They don't have any more. They only have 4. So the spades are breaking 4-4.
Oh, boy.
So even when they get in with the ace, they can only take 3 tricks. But the danger is that West has a whole bunch of spades, right? And if we start on clubs and East has the ace of clubs, East is going to take it and play a spade right away, right? This is a fairly sophisticated hand. What's our only hope here? What if East doesn't have very many spades? It's called hold up. We'll let them take a couple of spade tricks before we take our ace. And hopefully when we knock out the ace of clubs, it's in East and they're out of spades. So he counted his winners. You win the 3rd spade with your ace and you drive out the ace of clubs. And in fact, here's the layout of the hand. We were lucky East had the ace of clubs. And so because we waited 3 tricks, East was out of spades.
Out of trump.
Yeah, it was
no
a no
trump,
trump
right?
hand, but East had run out of spades. So when East won the ace of clubs, she had to put us back in with diamonds or hearts. So, and again, I didn't mean to get into bridge stuff today, but it's there. Anyway, that was my brief tour of non-BBO things. So let's spend a little time at BBO. Now, has anybody ever been to sites other than BBO to look at bridge or anything like that?
Not much.
No.
There's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of stuff.
acbl.org,
I'm sorry, say again.
acbl.org.
acbl.org. I don't know how much stuff they really have there.
Well, I look for local clubs and so forth.
Yes, though there's a ton of that kind of information.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're probably mostly or all familiar with the BBO home screen. I wanted to demonstrate a couple of things, which most of you have tried. One is solitaire, and there's a few different types. One is called Just Play Bridge. And what they'll do is there's an infinite stream of hands. And this is our hand. And it went pass, a heart, and it's our turn to bid. Oh, what the heck? Let's bid 2 clubs. Oh, partner raised to 3 clubs. Pass. 4, 7, 10, 15. Why did partner? Oh, what the heck? Let's bid 3 now and hope we make it. Oh, thank you, partner. So let's count our winners. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm glad they didn't lead a diamond. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but then you can just play the hand, right? And it's really 1, 2, 3. We're going to go down almost, almost certainly. C'est la vie. There's another one called Just Declare. If you want to practice your declarer play, it will be pre-bid for you, and it happens really fast, which kind of drives me nuts.
Yeah.
But you'll play, you'll be declarer. So we're playing 5 hearts, which is a very strange contract. And it looks like we just need to make sure we don't lose too many trump tricks. We look pretty good everywhere else. So anyway, so you can play, you can play to your heart's content here. The downside of this, the good thing is it gives you some sense of kind of rhythm of the play, and you're not scared about who the opponents are because they're robots and they don't care about anything. So if you're a chronically kind of slow and tentative player, you can play more quickly, and nothing bad will happen.
Bill, before you go to the other side,
Yes.
you can do the weekly tournaments, and every, I think Sunday or Monday, they put in a new hand, and you can play I think it's 8 boards. And then what it will do at the end of the 8 boards, it will show you how you fare with the other people who've played that particular hand. And it sometimes depends upon how many people are there. And it will tell you whether you were in the number 50 or whether you were number 3 or number 21 out of so many people.
That
So
sounds very cool.
Idea of what you can do.
Yeah, that sounds great. I should throw the browser over to you and let you demo it. So my wife Dana and I only play bridge with each other. So I never click on anything that's something that might accidentally give me 1/100th of a master point, because she would be pissed.
Oh,
There's another wonderful tool here called Bridge Master. Most of you are familiar with it. I'm going to click on beginner and A1. There's a gazillion hands in here. So again, the bidding comes up real fast, and then it goes away. So we're declaring 3 no trump. So in 3 no trump, we count
Winners.
How many diamond winners do we have?
2.
2. How many club winners?
4.
Is king, queen, jack on 4 different tricks? Yeah, so now we're up to 6. How many heart winners?
2.
So we're up to 8. Where are we going to get another winner? If diamonds go 3-3, we could score our 13th diamond. But I love this hand. Let's think about it for a second. Suppose we play small from dummy. What happens if East plays small?
With the jack.
We win with the jack. That's trick 9. What happens if East plays big? Ace or king?
You play low.
We play low, and now we have the queen jack. And so they can take their king, but it's going to be our trick. We're going to get our 9th trick. Watch. They play big, and now we've got the queen jack.
You play small.
And if they continue spades, I play small, and they took the king. Oh, they didn't. Anyway, what's really cool about this one, and I'm going to go back to it again. And I just, the magic of card play is just astounding. So I want to look at this one again. Let's look at the spade suit when we can. They started the spade suit. You see how we have queen small and jack and 2 small? They started the spade suit, and it guaranteed us a trick. Suppose one of them has the ace and one of them has the king. What happens if we start the spade suit? If we start with a small spade, they'll play small. We'll try the queen, and they'll take their ace. And then later a spade is going to come through our jack, and they'll kill our jack if the ace and king are on opposite sides.
Right.
So if they start the suit, we get a trick. If we start the suit, we never get a trick.
Hmm.
I mean, is this totally cool?
But they didn't start within their fourth from their longest and strongest, did they?
No, it looks like they probably had a quote interior sequence of 10, 9, 8, 7 or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, good observation. The robots are terrible on defense, by the way. But I digress. This kind of a suit with like queen and two small, or queen and one or two small opposite jack and two small, it's called a frozen suit. Whoever starts it gives up a trick.
Oh,
Interesting.
If the bad guys start it, we get a trick. But if we start it, we don't get a trick. They get all the tricks. I mean, is that totally cool?
What, you're talking about spades? What?
Spades, yeah. Spades is what's called a frozen suit. And the message is, if you're a declarer and you see a suit that looks like this, stay the heck away from it.
Good to know.
Let the bad guys start it.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Is it frozen because it's weak?
I'm sorry, say again.
Is it frozen because it's weak? It's your
It's
weak.
frozen because the honors are on opposite sides. And if their honors are on opposite sides, it's the term frozen refers to the fact that whoever starts it loses. So it's like, keep your hands off it, leave it frozen.
Can whoever's coughing mute themselves?
So let me show a couple other things. One of the ones that I like, I think it's under practice, is called mini bridge.
Mhm.
And mini bridge is really interesting from the perspective of starting to think about declarer play. Here's what it does. It gives you your hand and your partner's hand. And then you decide where you want to play it. So let's look at this. What suit or no trump do we think we want to play in?
Spades.
Spades looks pretty good. We got an 8-card fit with all the big ones. What level do we want to play?
We have 20.
Game.
Let's see. Yeah, it looks like we can probably bid game because we can. We'll count losers from the point of view of North. We have one diamond loser. We have one club loser. We potentially have 3 heart losers, but only if they can kind of run things through our king. Anything we could do to get rid of our club loser? Let's look at dummy. Dummy only has 2 clubs.
Yeah, we could trump.
Take the king and the ace and trump. Oh, what the heck? Let's see if we can make game. Club lead. Okay.
Small.
Small. I like that. Okay. What's going to happen if we call trump? Do we have any trump to take care of that last club?
No.
No. So let's take care of business first.
Yeah.
Let's take the ace of clubs and let's rough a club.
There we go.
Okay, so I'm not going to play out the rest of the hand, but it's a good opportunity to, to fiddle around with things. The only downside is there's no instructional aspect to it. It doesn't say, here's how other people got a result. Here's what you should have done. But it's really cool. And I think the coolest thing about it is that just the whole idea of showing you 2 hands and having you think about, gee, where would I want to be? I think it's a really interesting exercise. The other thing that you can do is you can start a table. And there's a couple of ways to do that. You can start what's called a teaching table. you type in people's names. And it puts them in, or you put yourself in, or whoever it is, and then you can click to start the table. The nice thing about, I'll just click and let's see what happens. So the nice thing about a teaching table is that if you've ever played casual on BBO, when the hand is over, it like disappears pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
The nice thing about a teaching table is when you finish the hand, it doesn't go away until you tell it, deal again. So if you're playing with friends and you want to be able to shoot the breeze about the hand afterward, this is a really useful thing.
Can you
The
do it?
downside, go ahead.
Can you do it with robots?
Yes,
Or
you
you
can
have
put robots in.
Okay,
How
so
do
you could do it with a friend, 2 robots at a teaching table.
Absolutely. You could do a friend and 2 robots. Yep.
How do you seat the people at the table?
You click on, like right now, I could click on North and it says reserve. And then I would type in, I'd type in the name of my my friend. And down here, it told me that she's not logged in or not available. But that's how you do it. You click there and you either stick in a robot. I could sit there myself.
You have to see the cards with not the robot. How do you, with just sitting there?
Well, here's what's cool about teaching table is I can turn the cards on and off. So right now I'm the host of the table. If I turn the cards off, I don't see them anymore. So if you were playing, if Linda and Ann and Diane and I were playing at a teaching table, I would turn the cards off and we would just bid and play like we usually do. But if at some point Diane said, I have this really crazy hand, why don't we all look at it together and talk about it? Then you could say, okay, let me turn the cards on.
Over there. Okay.
And we can see the cards, and then we could talk about it. And then if we wanted to continue, we could turn the cards off and continue. So I love teaching tables, but usually I'm not playing. I'm just hosting it for other people.
Phil, tell them that they have to have money in the bank to pay for the robot.
Yes, a robot costs $1 a week,
the
or
bank.
$1 a quarter or something.
Robots in case we need them.
And there's a couple other ways to play in what's called casual. You can start a table with 3 robots. You can start a table, and this is really the same idea. You'll say start a table, relaxed game. I don't ever go here, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. And I could sit my friends there. You know, I could sit my friends in different places, or other people might drop in.
And then if they're signed in, do they automatically get invited?
Yes, they will receive an invitation. It shows up. It's like a pop-up in their BBO, and there's a yes, no button at the bottom, and they click yes, I want to accept
So,
the invitation.
can you go back to that? Because I think it's really important to show people, because it's very traumatic if you're setting up a table with your friends and sometimes your friend get knocked out and then someone from around the world gets onto your table.
Yeah.
But I always make it, like, go back to the setup of the table.
Uh-huh.
I always
you make it invisible.
Invisible, and I always ask for permission to play, because early on it'd be like, and then these people are all like mean. I'm like, I was thinking, I'm sorry, my friends and I are playing, and it was really weird.
Yes, some people, that wonderful bridge teacher that Dana and I experienced, he referred to it as the toad factor. He said some people can just be toads. And
It's
it's
nice to
true.
make it invisible with all your friends, and you can show,
Yes.
if you, I don't know if you want to show, in the people and history, people tab, you can add your friends in there.
Yes, you can add your friends. So there's Ted. Right down here, type in Phil A46, and that's me. And then click add, and we'll become friends.
Also,
really
when you
fun.
start with 3 robots, you have to pay for your robots.
I don't know. I think so. I'm afraid to click there because I don't want to buy
I
them.
can't remember. I think there are free robots and robots that cost $1. I think that was my memory.
It just went up,
Oh, see, it's even more.
175 a week now or something like that for a basic robot.
Yeah,
Oh, that's why you get
it's
basic.
cheaper than paying your neighbor.
Right.
Okay, so it says I have a partner, take us to, oh, that'll take you to somebody else's table.
Yes, this is what my wife and I do. If we don't want to play a tournament, but we want to play a few hands of bridge, we'll do this. And we end up with 2 people we've never met. They might be from the Netherlands or Vietnam or USA, and they might be nice or they might be crazy and they might be good or they might be bad. But we do this mostly if we just want to practice a little bit. Because when we play tournaments, Dana plays upstairs, I play downstairs. We have both doors closed so that when I do something stupid and she groans, I don't hear her. But if we're just hacking around in the evening, we sit in the living room and we talk. We said, I didn't know how to do this, or how did you read my 1 heart bid? And that's how we work through our system and so on.
Wow.
I had a question back on that other one where, you're playing the casual bridge and it's invisible. Isn't it? I always thought invisible was invisible to everybody, but it's not, is it?
It means that nobody else can see it, but you can still invite people to join it.
Okay, so it's my table and I can invite my friends, but all these other people from wherever can't see us. Okay.
Correct. Exactly correct. What else did I want to talk about?
Oh yeah, last night we were playing and we had 2 tables and it collapsed down to 1 table. I was kibitzing on the last table and they're about ready to leave. And I said, no, play this next hand. The reason why I said that is North had 9 diamonds.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I think the ace, king, and queen in there. I mean, it was bizarre hand.
It was
my God.
very.
Another thing you can show, Phil, is you go to account, if that's where you can like turn off the sounds.
Oh,
and,
yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Account
it
and
will
settings.
play, automatic, your singletons. That's kind of fun. I like that.
Yeah, automatic and settings, turn the sound effects off. And there's some choices about whether you see the pictures of the cards or like that layout like you'd see in the bridge column in the newspaper. Most of you know what a newspaper is. The other thing, though, that I did want to demonstrate is there's this really cool thing that nobody seems to know about called My Hands. And I can go and I can look at all the hands that I played on BBO in the past month, or I can pick some date in the past and look at a bunch of previous hands.
Wow.
So this is a tournament that Dana and I played yesterday. We did well. And you can pick any hand that you played, and you can go look at it. I'm actually going to pick a different one because I didn't want to have that one. So this was a hand. So I'm the dealer. I have a lovely hand. I've got 10, 19, 2 for length. I got like 21 points. So I open a spade and North passes. And my partner has spade support and 8 points. So she bids 2 spades. And South gets a little frisky here and bids 3 clubs. But I look at my hand and I think, goodness, I've got 21, she must have 6, and I just bid game. And then you can walk through the play of the hand. So What do we think North might lead?
Art?
Club,
Hearts.
Did,
Oh,
did partner bid a suit?
partner bid.
Partner bid clubs. I bet he's gonna lead the queen of clubs, and that's what happened. So when queen of clubs, small, and South actually signaled with the 9, South threw a big one to say, I like this suit, keep it coming if you get a chance. And I took it with the ace, and then it looks like I called trump. And so you can go back through the play of the hand.
How do you do that? How do you get to that?
There's 2 ways to get there. One is when you're in BBO, you go to your history,
Mm-hmm.
and it will show your recent hands. Or if you played a tournament recently, you can look at your recent tournaments and pick any tournament you want. And then all the hands will be there.
Phil, how do you enlarge the history? We've done history, but how do you enlarge that the way you did before?
Like that? I'm not sure if I understand the question.
In other words, when we've gone to history, we just see this small window on the right.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas you,
Oh, yeah, here's a cool thing. This little hamburger. Oh, shoot. Should be there. There we go. You click on the little hamburger. So this was the hand. That was hand 1. You click on the little hamburger and it gives you some options, including export. And then export, you can send it, you can create what's called a hand viewer link. And then if you click on that link, I think it opens, yeah, in another tab, it takes me to the full size version of the hand. Was that the question?
Yes.
Okay.
but what's a hamburger?
The 3 lines.
That the 3, the
Oh,
little,
okay, fine.
yeah,
Thank you.
the 3
And how
bars.
did you get it to play? To play that?
If you're in this, if it's a hand you've already played, there'll be a
Yes.
button down here called next. And it will just play the next card.
Oh.
So,
that's a picture of all histories, and you can go see other people who played the hand. You can watch how they did and how they played it too.
yep. Yeah, that was what I was going to comment on, is not only can I go look at our result, I can go look at what happened at other tables. So this same hand where we ended up in 4 spades, and as I recall, I made 4. I can go, and I already clicked through to this. I think this is what happened at all 18 of the tables that played that hand.
So let's get through the deal. Let's get that out of here. What do you say? That sounds good.
So most of the people bid to 4 spades. I made 4, but some people made 5. I actually had the right idea to make 5, and then I made a mistake. And a couple people bid 6 and went down, and one person ended up in 3-no. One of the opponents sacrificed, which turned out to be a very bad idea. They went down 4 doubled. So is that what you wanted me to show, Martha?
I'm just in the regular history. I like when I go back to the regular.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Right. So in the regular history, this was a hand where we played, let's see, we were east-west. So the bad guys played 3 hearts by north, doubled off 1. You can click on other tables and it will show you what happened at all the other tables. This was a big tournament, so there were a fair number of people in it.
I think it's interesting when maybe you might have played spades, but then someone else played hearts, or they played no trump, and you can compare your scores.
Yep. And you can say, gosh, the bad guys ended up in 3 hearts by north, but there's a whole bunch of people our direction who played 2-no. how did we fail to find that? So you can click on that and you can see what the bidding was at their table. So you can compare the bidding at their table to the bidding at wherever it went at our table. But I think I'm maybe digressing a bit. So East had my loving partner had opened 1 no trump. She had 4, 8, 10, 15, and South passed. And I looked at my hand and I decided to pass. And then North got frisky and got into the auction, and it turned out well for them. Other people with my hand after the 1 no trump, oh, come on, fill in. They decided to bid Stamen, bid 2 clubs Stamen, and partner bid 2 hearts, and they bid 2 no. And that ended up being a better result. Now, is that just due to the lie of the cards, or did I do something really dumb? I don't know. I never will know. So.
Hey, I noticed it's almost 5:07.
Yeah, it's late. Any other quick questions?
Sometimes, Phil, when I don't want to bother you or Martha or Deborah, I use the customer service, and they get back to you, maybe not right away, but the next day or within so many hours, and they'll answer your questions, and they'll answer questions specifically about a tournament or whatever.
Oh, at BBO?
They're very helpful.
Cool. And any of you who want to send me a question about a hand or a screenshot of a hand or a link to the hand, just do it. I love it. So I'll quit sharing.